Okay, so tonight is the last class that we have before Pesach, and we are continuing a series about Emunah, which is so appropriate because Pesach is the holiday of Emunah. And I want to speak about 2 points that are both actually connected to one of the Pesach themes. We spoke about this when we spoke about the month of Nisan, that the month of Nisan is all about speech. It's all about sicha. And the Arizal writes that when we were slaves in Egypt for 210 years, so the galut of Egypt was the galut hadibur, okay? That our speech was in exile, and that's why Pesach can be read as Pesach, that the mouth talks, okay? That our mouth was closed for 210 years, and then on Pesach our mouth started to open finally. That's why we have the mitzvah of the night of Seder is Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, is the mitzvah to recount the story of the Exodus, and this is like the biggest mitzvah that we have. Like this is it takes the longest time. Like sometimes in my house it takes like 2 or 3 hours makit, and like with it just don't stop talking. It's like the more you talk, it says Kol Hamar Be'Lesaper Harei Meshubach. Anybody who does a longer job of talking, Harei Meshubach. Okay, we say it every year in the Haggadah that the longer the magid is, the better. And should not be one of these families that they're just like trying to rush through to get to the food. And like the main point, you should eat before Yom Tov. Okay, have like make sure that you're not going to be anxious. Make sure that you have to make sure that you rest before the Seder, and you have to make sure that you're not tired. You have to make sure that the people around you aren't tired, and you have to make sure you're not hungry. Okay. At the beginning of my Seder, we usually right at the beginning of Magid, so the first thing is we have coffee break. Everybody has a cup of coffee to make sure, and that's the one night a year that even little kids are allowed to drink coffee. So Kol Hamar Be'Lesaper B'Tzeis Mitzrayim has Meshuvach, this mitzvah to talk, and so I want to speak about a couple of points tonight about how speech connects with Emunah, okay, and specifically in relation to the holiday of Pesach. So Rebbe Nachman writes in Likutei Eitzot Ot Memhei, the 45th point in Likutei Eitzot and Emunah is, he says, Ikar ha'emunah tluya b'peh, that the main Emunah is dependent on the mouth. Okay. Now what does this mean? So it's based on the pasuk. We say this pasuk in Tehillim in Hallel. It says, David HaMelech says, Ha'amanti ki adaber. Ha'amanti ki adaber, which literally means that I had Emunah as I spoke. Meaning that by means of my speaking, that's what brought me Emunah. Okay? This is an amazing tool. This is an amazing technique to understand. And that is that we can manipulate ourselves through our speech. Okay? If you want to have Emunah, so talk about Emunah. Talk like a person who has Emunah. Talk that just speaking in the language of people who have Emunah, that Hashem is going to be with us. It's going to create the Emunah. Okay, this is it's an amazing thing. It's a form of manifestation. Okay, that if you talk in a way that shows Emunah, that it's going to make an effect on you. Okay, we call this in the secular world. We call this statements of affirmation. Okay, and meaning that if you want to change yourself, if you want to condition yourself to a certain core belief, so just talk to yourself, make the statement, and it will become your reality. Okay, that if you are struggling with your self-esteem, if you think that you're a loser, if you think that you're not talented, so to stand in a mirror and to talk to yourself and to say that I am an extremely talented fill in the blank. Okay, I am aspiring to be the world's greatest opera singer, or what do you say, occupational therapist. Yes, you're going to be a world famous. You're going to be the first world famous occupational therapist. and the whatever it is that you're that to talk to yourself and make these statements of affirmation it really works. It's the only way we can change ourselves actively. Okay, we can change the way we feel about ourselves by making these affirmations. Okay, so this is really what it means. Hamati ki hadaber. Hamati ki hadaber means that if I speak it, it will become my reality. Okay, and this is true on many levels. That if you have a good plan, if you have some exciting plan that you want to do next year, so some people have this feeling that I don't want to tell people because what if it doesn't happen? And so, sorry to burst your bubble, but if you don't tell people, it's not going to happen. And if you want it to happen, so tell everybody. Okay, so you tell so many people that it'll be impossible for it not to happen, because that everyone's going to say, "Hey, what's with that amazing plan?" So you're going to say, yeah, next week start. That it's going to create the reality. Okay, so Hamati Kitaba means that we have the power to create our reality through our speech. Okay, so this means when it comes to Emunah, so this means that if a person is going to speak like a person who has Emunah, if a person, like, let's say on the inside, so you're petrified. Okay, you're shaking from fear because maybe Iran is going to just completely blow us up. Maybe this is going to be our last day on the earth. Maybe we're just like whatever. And so if you talk to if your roommate asks you how you doing, your mother asks you how you doing, and you say, Hashem's going to watch over me, everything's good. So then that will, little by little, it'll have an effect on how you really feel deep down. Okay? And so now what's the issue we have? That this doesn't sound right because it sounds like it's a little bit dishonest. Right? Like shouldn't I be truthful? Shouldn't I tell people I'm scared I'm scared to death. I'm Amish, I can't take this. I'm whatever. So the thing is that it works both ways. That when we speak negatively, when we speak with anxiety, we're giving a reality to these fears. We're giving them a legitimacy. They're giving them a forum, and by giving our fears this microphone, this podium, so then we're making them more real. Okay, so what are we really doing? So the more that we speak out, our fears, so we fill the world with fears, we fill ourselves with fears, we make our fears dominant. When we speak about Emunah, we fill the world with Emunah, and we make the Emunah inside of us more dominant. Okay? Meaning that the part that we give expression to, it becomes more dominant. Now, so really, if you think about it like this, so it's sort of like a meditation, meaning that we assumed, like when the person was asking us how we're doing, so he's asking us a question, for a point of information, and so I should look at myself and I should answer, but the point of Hamati Ketaba means that when I'm answering, so really what I'm doing is that I'm talking to myself. I'm connecting to the piece inside of me that is full of Emunah. Okay, so it's a very subtle difference. But you can have a person who's really full of garbage. You can have a person that like they like to talk about Emunah. They like to talk about Emunah, but when it comes to having Emunah, they're scared against. Like you have people like there was a crazy story about a year ago about this Israeli writer that he was like the moral compass of the Jewish people. That all the subtleties of how to be a mature, upstanding human being. He was the address for like how to live really balanced, perfectly thought out lives, and then it came out these crazy scandals that he was abusing women, married women, not married women, boys, like he was raping, molesting, you name it. It was like a monster, an absolute monster. And then he killed himself, which was even like come on, like that's like really being a wimp. That's like, besides that, think of it like he was until he became like this until it came out that he was such a loser, monster. So he would have been like the greatest proponent against suicide, that like never give up, that's the easy way out. And it was all words. He was like that really deep down he had no Yerushalayim and he had no moral standards. So you remember the story? Huh?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I heard of it.
Never heard. Chaim Walder.
Chaim Walder?
Yeah.
From Israel?
Yeah.
In Jerusalem or what?
B'nai Brak, yeah.
He's a therapist.
It's pretty shocking.
Yeah, crazy story. Anyway, so you have people like this, that they like to talk, but like they're just full of hot air. You know, when it comes to push comes to shove, so they don't know where to put their money where their mouth is. Okay, and that sounds like, so we don't want to be like that, right? So what's the difference between like talking as if I'm something and I'm really not, and affecting ourselves? Yeah, the difference is very simple, and that is that when I'm trying to affect myself, I'm talking in a meditative way. I'm talking in a place that I'm trying to connect to myself as I'm talking. Okay, meaning, which is the truth is that there's different kinds of people in the way they talk. Okay. And we're going to get to this later, that a true talk, a true communication requires that a person is really talking from their heart. Okay? If a person is talking something which was prepared, something which was like scripted, so then there's a level to how real what they're saying is. Like they're not really communicating. They're really just reading a script. They're really just giving a speech. So a real communication, a real sikha, really requires that you're in touch with yourself as you're talking. Okay, so when a person is talking about Emunah, so you know you can imagine a person that like you ask him how he's doing, and he's saying Baruch Hashem, everything's good, and like you're not upset about about the fact that somebody you just got fired says no, it's Hashem, it's all Mishamayim, something better is going to come up. It's just, it's a blessing in disguise, Baruch Hashem. And the truth is I didn't want to be there anyway. And he said, yeah, Baruch Hashem, have a nice day. He said, these disgusting people, they don't realize that. And you can have a person that they're actually just acting, that everything, and then you can have a person that they take a moment, that they take a deep breath, and they say, it's going to be okay. It's really going to be okay. And they're talking to themselves. And as they're speaking, they're connecting to the deeper part of themselves. And that is not just being honest, that is creating a reality. Okay? So this is a very deep expression of fake it till you make it. Okay? That the Judaism absolutely believes in fake it till you make it. That not to wait until we're there, but rather to do what it takes to make a decision that this is where I would like to be, and I'm going to act in a way that I would like to be, and it's going to affect me on the inside. It's like the Sefer Chinuch writes that achar hapolot nimshachim halavavot, that a person's heart is swayed after his or her actions. That the actions you do affect the kind of person you are. For example, I think his example is that if you want to become a more generous person, so just force yourself to give. Don't wait until you're generous. Don't wait until you're just dying to help everybody who's in need before you start giving. Start giving, and then you'll become a generous person. It works the opposite way, right? So it's not much the same thing when it comes to speech. That if you talk in a way that is full of emunah, that is full of kindness, that's full of just being nice, so then it'll affect you from the inside, and it will actually condition you. Yeah.
Given the example you just stated, but it didn't affect him positively. He spoke about Emunah and wrote these books.
Right. Exactly. No, I was saying that you can absolutely be full of hot air. You can absolutely be a person that's just lying, and the way to circumvent that is to make sure that when I'm talking, I'm connecting to myself. and I'm connecting to the place inside of me that really believes this, that really aspires to this. And if you're doing it from a place of being connected, then it's going to condition you. It's going to affect you, to transform you. Okay? Clear? Okay. So this is mamish. This is a very beautiful expression of fake it till you make it. That a person shouldn't say like, how can I talk like that? Like, if I don't really believe it, because if you talk like it enough, you will eventually believe it. You'll come to believe it, and it's really a beautiful tool that we have, that we're never stuck. It's never that we can actually grow, can actually become the kind of people that we want to be by simply acting and talking like the kind of people that we want to be. Okay, and this is true on many levels. This is just if a person wants to talk in a more dignified manner, so and wants to decide that like I want to talk like I don't want to use these kinds of just less refined words, and the thing like who do I think I am? Do I think I'm better than my friends? Do I think like it's like I didn't change, I'm still the same person? And if a person wants to be better, just be better, and the next thing you know, you'll be better. You know, it's really in our power to make these decisions, and from the outside is going to make a difference on the inside. Okay, that's point number one. Okay, point number one of Hamanti Ki Adaber, point number one of Ikar Emunah Tali B'Peh is that these are affirmations that condition us on the inside. Okay, so this is on the circling back to Pesach, circling back to Magid, Sefer Seyas Mitzrayim. So one of the on a very simple level, this is absolutely one of the points of Sefer Seyas Mitzrayim. It's absolutely one of the purposes, one of the things that we're trying to accomplish with talking about the story is that the more we talk about the story, the more it's a part of us, the more it's going to be a part of our psyche, the more it's going to be part of our reality. And it's especially on the night of Pesach that the whole world, the whole night was made for this. So absolutely, the words that we're talking have an even more powerful effect on us. Every word that we're saying, it's going to be able to affect our soul in a very deep way, because the whole night was built for this experience. Okay, so this is this also, it should, I've mentioned this in other places, that knowing this, that the purpose of the Magid is to affirm our Emunah. So this should give us a little bit of perspective, of insight as to what should be the discussions in Magid. Okay, in other words, that some people, so they spend the Magid just asking questions, answering questions, like nice, cute Divrei Torah, and trying to understand exactly where you see in the pasuk that every plague really had 5 different plagues in it, because this guy holds that Mishlachas Malach Yirayim was one thing, and this guy holds it 2 things, and you can get, there's a lot of details. There's a lot of details in the Haggadah, and there's a lot of interesting commentaries and the psukim, and you can talk about why exactly there's 4 why there's 4 sons, and exactly who's better, the guy who doesn't ask questions or the guy who's wicked, and there's a lot of interesting things in the Haggadah, but we have to keep in mind that the purpose of Magid, the purpose of Sefer Mitzrayim, is to affect our Emunah. Okay, the entire purpose of Sefer Mitzrayim is that we should come out of this night with a deeper connection to God. So the focus of the conversations need to be on topics of Emunah. Okay, so this includes the topics of Emunah that are connected to the story of Sefer Mitzrayim are: number 1, Hashem cares about us. Number 2, Hashem will save us. Number 3, Hashem can do miracles. Number 4, Hashem is going to punish the bad guys. Okay, these are maybe number 5, that Hashem answers our prayers. Okay, we're going to get to that soon. That these basic emunahs, these basic beliefs, these basic affirmations that we have, that we know that, and we know that Hashem loves us, we know that Hashem cares about us, we know that Hashem is going to give justice to the bad guys, we know that Hashem is going to save us, we know that Hashem answers our prayers, we know that Hashem can do anything. Okay, this is the point. This is the whole point of the whole Exodus, is that we should know how awesome Hashem is, and it should be very clear to us. There should be no doubt. There should be zero doubts in our mind of how much Hashem loves us and all the things we said. So this really, knowing that this is the point of Magid, so it actually should influence the kinds of questions that we have. Okay? So, hey, shalom. Okay. So this is the first point. The first point of Magid is that talking.
It's okay. Thank you, Rebbe.
Okay. So the first point is that your speech creates your reality. Your speech creates your reality. That talk like you're the biggest Rebbetzin in the world, and you will become the biggest Rebbetzin in the world. Okay. So this is the first point, that simply talking about it, that will affect us, that will some things that just, it's not in our conscious, it's in our subconscious, and just by talking it, we're giving it a podium, giving it a microphone, it becomes more part of our reality. Okay. Now there's another point which is really connected to this. Okay, and that is that in Kabbalah, so it talks about the soul, it divides the soul into three parts. Okay, it's nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. Okay, nefesh is the lowest part. It's the part of the soul which is in charge of the physiological parts. That's why nefesh. The word nefesh is used by animals as well. That it says nefesh chaya. Okay, so that's the part of us. That's what with the Tanya, what he calls the nefesh bahamit. Nefesh bahamit. It's part of the soul which is animalistic. Okay, that's the nefesh. Then on the other hand, we have the highest part of the soul. It's called the neshama. Okay, the neshama is the holy soul. This is what Tanya calls the nefesh alokit. Okay, it's the godly soul, the divine soul. This is the part of us which is simply divine, which is only wants us to do holy things. Okay, so in the Tanya he doesn't talk about this, but in the Tzemach Tzedek he talks about that there's also a third part of the soul, and that's in the middle, and that's the you. That's the Nekudas HaBechira. That's the part of us which is actually making decisions. That's the part of us which is actually who we really are. Okay. So we, if you ask, who are you? I am this entity, this center, if you will, that is constantly deciding, am I going to follow the advice of the neshama, of the godly soul, or to follow the advice of the nefesh bahamit, of the animal soul? Okay, so now it says in Kabbalah that nefesh ruach, neshama are corresponding to three elements of our existence, and that is machshava, dibur, maisa. Okay, machshava means thought, dibur, speech, maisa, actions. Okay, meaning that nefesh is the animal soul, is corresponding to the world of action. Ruach is corresponding to the world of speech, the world of communication, and neshama is corresponding to the world of thought. Okay, so the fact that neshama is connected to the world of thought, that makes sense, especially being that the Tanya writes that the neshama actually lives in your brain. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense that where does the nefesh bahamid live? Where? In your tooth.
The goof.
No, in the left. Yes, in the left compartment of your heart. Okay, so that because that's the source of the blood, that's the okay. So it makes a lot of sense that the neshama elokit is connected to machshavas, is connected to thought, and the body actions are connected to the nefesh, but the chiddush is the ruach, which we said the ruach is really the real you, so that is connected to the world of speech. Okay, so if you think about it, it's really so true. Because Are you your thoughts?
No.
Are you your thoughts? No.
Yeah?
No.
No, I think so.
That do you ever have thoughts that you are embarrassed that, oh my gosh, how could I have had that thought?
Yeah.
Do you ever have thoughts that say like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I didn't actually say that, like, or like, and like that we have there's actually did you ever have like this crazy desire to do something horrible, to do something, to throw somebody off a cliff, to throw somebody and we're embarrassed to talk about it because we're actually terrified that we could actually have had such a thought, but we all have it, right? And so, okay, you're gonna call 911 after this class. Our rabbi says like about that. So no, but the truth is, the truth is that it's that the difference between us normal people, okay, a little bit of projection over here, that the difference between us normal people and the psychopaths is that we, Baruch Hashem, have filters. Okay, so we know that, oh, that's just a crazy thought. That's nothing. That I don't have to pay attention to that. I would never act on such a thought. Okay, when we have these anxieties, when we have these fears, so those fears are not us. Those are our enemies. They're something that are trying to attack the real us and trying to make us who we're not. Yeah.
Since we don't control our thoughts, does Hashem control our thoughts? Or since we're not our thoughts?
You aren't your thoughts. Your thoughts, there's a
So
lot of...
where do our thoughts come from?
Where do your thoughts come from? So, there's... You can call it different things. You can call it subconscious. You can call it Yetzer Hara. You can call it just like Nefesh Bahamit. You can call it Shadim. You can call it Malachim. There's lots of... It doesn't really matter. There's energies in the world that are giving you your thoughts. And it's okay. You can embrace it. It's like sometimes your thoughts are coming from a higher place. Sometimes they're coming from a lower place. It's like there's different energies in the world that are somehow trickling into our system, and that's okay. But the point is that we are not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. A person could have a person could even be the opposite. A person can even have good thoughts and be a very bad person. I think we spoke about on a different occasion how it says in the name of Chazal that Harshayim Maleim Charatas, that wicked people are full of regrets. Yeah.
Do you become your thoughts when it translates into action, like when they actually?
I'm about to get to that. Okay. So you're not your thoughts. Really, I can have thoughts that just come to me, and it's not me. Right? It doesn't represent who I am. Okay? Now this is a trickier one. Are you your actions? Are your actions do your actions define you?
Yeah?
Yeah, they do.
Well, you're consistent. No?
Before or after alcohol?
So the question is that do your actions define you? If you did something bad, does that make you a bad person?
Yeah?
Because you can be in that moment, not forever.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever done something and said, and like, how on earth did I do that? I can't believe I did that, and you really feel horrible about it, and like the world might judge you as being a horrible person, and Jordan for sure will judge you, and you'll think, but I'm such a good guy. How could I have done that? It was just such a weird thing that just happened. And sometimes a person just has misjudgments. Sometimes a person gets bad advice. Sometimes a person, you can have people that like obviously it's a problem for them not to trust themselves, but for the person to allow other people to give them advice. But sometimes you can have a situation the person is going to be given bad advice, and because of this bad advice, they'll do something that actually they know better. They really know better. They really know that this is not the right thing to do, but they're so sure of themselves because my rabbi said that this is what I'm supposed to do, and like this is what my tradition is telling me. And like I've got like in a different context we talked about this Indian tribe that has this custom of the burning of the widow, and the elders of the tribe are telling them, they're egging them on, and probably also there's some drugs going on to help them calm their calm their conscience, and so they're doing something that because something convinced them that this is what needs to be done, and like is this who we are? Is that? And so not necessarily. Like a person is not necessarily what they do, but if a person says something from a real place, like not like we're talking about before, like not reading off a script, but when you're talking, what you say is really the real you. Like that if a person is gonna, especially after alcohol, that if a person is really just going to be talking honestly, then so you say like a person says like I can't believe I said that to you, I really didn't mean it. Like, sorry if I'm messing people up by saying this, but there is no such thing. There is no such thing as I didn't mean it. That you said it, you meant it. Like it was the things that you say I didn't mean it, those are the things that you mean the most. Those are like the real moments of truth, that the real you was coming out, and meaning that their true thoughts are really expressed through true words. And I'm not saying that they don't like define you as to whether or not you're a good or bad person, but that's the real you. Like what you speak at moments of truth, that is really, really the real you. And this is true, like much more than what a person does. Much more than what a person does. I think I told you once from the author of Nevardik that he would say that don't judge a person based on if he does good things or if he does not good things. Judge him based on what he considers good. What does he aspire to? What does he look up to? What is your dream in life? That's what kind of person you are. Okay, so when a person is waking up at 2 p.m. every single day, and that you look at him and you say like, I'm going to judge you based on your actions. You're a lazy bum, but like maybe look a little bit deeper and listen to him, and listen to his true words every time he gets up until how he feels horrible about it, how he swears it's going to be different tomorrow, and like that's real. That's the real him. The fact that he got caught up in some party and that's why he went to sleep late, and that's why he went back into his cycle, that's not the real him. Okay? But his speech, the way the talk that he has, that's actually the real him. So understanding this, when we go back to Magid, we go back to the mitzvah of Pesach, of Sipasiyas Mitzrayim, and we're trying to understand what it means to Matiki Adaber. So that are the words that we speak, that is the real us. And that's why, like, once again, the way we speak these words has to be from a real place. It needs to be from a place of trueness, from a place not that I'm reading off a script. And we need to like become as unpolitical, and meaning I don't mean political. I mean this is the opposite of a politician. A politician, so they always they know how to be diplomatic. They know how to tell everybody exactly what they want to hear, and that's the opposite of being real. It's the opposite of being real. So it's really if you want to be real people. So it starts by really being in touch with ourselves, and this is being diplomatic. That is exactly galut hadibor. That was the problem for 210 years. When we say that communication was in exile, when we're talking about that speech was in exile when we were in Egypt, it means that we didn't know how to speak true words. When we say true words, what do we mean? We mean words which are really coming from the depth of ourselves. Really, words which can say, "This is me." That you can finally, you want to know who I really am. This is fine. I've been hiding it my entire life. I've been embarrassed about it my entire life. Finally, I'm going to tell you who I really am. So that's called Geulat Hadibur. That's called redeeming our speech. That's called finding a redemption to our speech, freeing our speech. So we're talking about Magid. We're talking about Tzibur Tzitz Mitzrayim. So the first thing is that fake it till you make it. The first thing is that we're conditioning ourselves. But the second thing is that when we're talking from a real place, what we're actually doing is we are becoming something. We actually are that we are giving expression to the essence of who we are. That taking these thoughts and bringing them down to something which is not just a thought, which is actually a speech, okay? Which is something which is just an idea, just a passing thought, to something that has a real space in the world. I showed up in the world, and this is why, this is why, you know, when we have there's a question about davening, that why can't we daven with our mind? Why do we have to speak? Why do we have to enunciate the words? You know, that like Hashem knows our thoughts, so why do we need to move our lips, right? So the thing about moving our lips is very actually on Shabbos I had a thought that you know, like that when you like it's like sort of like a physical thought, that when you talk with your lips, you actually breathe and you fill the world with the breath of prayer, and just to fill the room with the breath, with the wind of prayer. So there's no doubt that that's making the world into a holier place. You know, it just has a nice, like, just changing the climate and like just filling with good winds, good smelling breath. So good smelling prayer breath. And so it's really, so that's I think that's also an interesting take on why we need to talk, why we need to enunciate the words. But what it says in all the Sfarim, what it says in the Maram Prague is that when a person is talking, so your truest essence is in your speech, because it's in your speech that your body and your soul merge. It's through speech that your body and your soul merge, and that's because your speech is where you express your soul in physical terms. Okay? And this is the one way that it's only through speech that the depths of my soul, the depths of my thoughts, my real deepest secrets, in my soul, they have an expression in the physical world. This is the second point, so about tefillah, when it comes to tefillah, so it's because your speech is where your body and your soul merge. So this is the place that the real you is being expressed. Okay. So that's the second point. That's the second point of when it comes to the dibur, when it comes to Emunah, Hamanti Kedaber, when Rebbe Nachman says that Ikar Emunah Tali Bepeh, so the Emunah is dependent on your speech, dependent on your mouth. So what he really means is that number one, that by expressing your Emunah, you're A, conditioning yourself to have truer Emunah, and B, you're really giving a podium. You're really you're being the realest you, that your Emunah, you're taking it to the next level, from just being a thought to being something real, to being the real you, not just like a passing whim. Right? This is a way of, who are you? You are what you talk about. Okay? So, what?
But not in the case of that man, of the rabbi.
Right.
I keep thinking back to that situation though.
Because he was fake. Because he was a fake person.
But for years and years and years, he was healing people. So his words did have power. And he knew what he was saying. How did it not get to a point where he believed what he was saying for like his own good? If he was like recommending things for other people and how to...
Maybe at some point he was a good person, but from the time that he started this double life, so he was making this clear break between what I tell other people and what I really believe.
Who is this?
There's a Chaim Water.
We're talking about Jesus.
Okay, so now another point I want to speak about in the point of Emunah, as relating to Peh, is another point that Rebbe Nachman says in a different place in Likutei Maran, Torah Tes Os Aleph, in Torah 9 in Likutei Maran. So he says that Emunah, ki Emunah hi tefillah. Real Emunah is tefillah. Real Emunah is tefillah, and it brings a source to this. This is the same source that we brought, the same pasuk that we brought last week about Vahi Yadav Emunah. We talked about having your Emunah in your hands, about having a real physical Emunah, a real Emunah that's almost tangible. So now he has a different perspective on this, because it says in the story of Amalek, when that Moshe would raise his hand, and when his hands were up, then they would succeed in battle, and when his hands were down, then they would be defeated in battle. So it says in the Targum, it says in the Targum of Onkelos, in the Aramaic translation of the Torah. So it says Vayi Yadav Emunah, that his hands were Emunah. What does it mean? It means Prishan B'tzla. It means that his hands were spread out in prayer. I mean that this was an expression of prayer. Vayi Yadav Emunah. The definition, the translation of Vayi Yadav Emunah means that his hands were held out in prayer. So we see from here, from the fact that he translates Emunah as an expression of prayer, Rebbe Nachman sees from here that Emunah is prayer. Emunah is prayer. So what does this mean? What does it mean that Emunah is prayer? Okay. So a couple of thoughts on. Should we close the door? Are you okay? Right?
Whatever you prefer.
Right?
What do you prefer?
Yeah, close the door. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot. So what does it mean? What does it mean that Emunah is tefillah?
Want me to take the keys out?
Sure. Yeah. So let's start from the simplest place. Okay, on the simplest level, right here, that Emunah is prayer. That if you really believe, so how could you not have? You know, it's so simple that, like, if I tell you that there's a person next door that he told me that he's looking for American Olim in the 20s, and he wants to just hand out $1,000 each. Okay, so like, you're not gonna ask him. You're not gonna, like, it's all you have to do. All you have to do is ask. He said, "Hi, I heard you want to give me money." Yes. If you really believe that there's someone out there that cares about you, that wants to help you, so how could you not ask? It's absolutely absurd. It's absolutely absurd that a person could believe and not to daven. Like, do you believe that God could make this person heal? Do you believe that He could save us? Do you believe that He's capable of doing whatever? Do you think He's got all the jobs in the world? He's got all the shidduchim in the world. He's got everything we need. Okay, and so he's got it. If you really believe He's got it, so how could you not ask Him for it? Like, if you've got everything, so then so I understand. But like, if there's anything that you need, and you believe that he can help you, so how could you not ask Him? Okay, so that's the first level. That it's really that to not daven for something is a statement of, I don't really believe that He can help me. Like, or it's. I mean, there's also another possibility, and that is that you could think that you're not. You could think you're not worthy. You think that I'm not going to ask Hashem because I feel that He doesn't. That I don't know. What does that mean that I'm not worthy? Like, if you believe that He loves you, so why shouldn't you ask Him? Maybe like you'll think that, like, so some people have a problem that I don't believe in myself. I believe that Hashem answers prayers, but only prayers of like real tzaddikim. Like, Hashem doesn't listen to my prayers. My prayers are so fake. I'm such a nobody. So that's a real, that's like, you don't realize, a person that thinks such a thing doesn't realize that Hashem really loves him. Doesn't realize, like if Hashem really loves you, He doesn't care if you're the holiest person in the world. He loves you. So when He loves when you come to ask Him for things, And the more that you say that you talk to him, the more he's going to say yes. So the first thing is that it's really it's absolutely absurd. It's just absolutely absurd. If you believe that God can help you and you need His help, it's just ridiculous not to ask Him. Okay? There's a story with Rebbe Nachman with Rebbe Nachman when Rebbe Nassan once came for him, and there was a button missing on his coat, and so he says, Nassan, there's a button missing on your coat. So he said, yeah, Rabbi, I know, I'll take care of it. So he said, Nassan, did you daven to Hashem that you should get your button? So Nassan made an interesting face. So he was surprised, I didn't know I was supposed to daven for such a stupid thing. And so Nachman started playing with him. So he said, oh, Nassan, it's beneath your dignity to daven for a button. So let me tell you, even if you don't daven for a button, Hashem will still give you a button. Because He's going to take care of you. Just like He takes care of all the animals in the world. All the animals in the world, they don't ask for anything. Hashem takes care of them. So Hashem is going to take care of you too. But the question is, do you want to get your button like an animal? Do you want to get your button like a human being? Okay? It's a very deep story, and it's that if you really believe that Hashem is in charge of everything, so then how could you not ask?
Did he get the button?
He got the button. Yes.
No, he really found it.
No, he just went to the tailor cut to get it.
Did he get it like an animal or?
I think he got it like a human being. That's important, and the happy ending. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you could also. Another reason someone might not daven or see the value in davening for a specific thing is because they think there's no way Hashem is going to answer me or give me what I want, or I don't know if He will, so it's not really worth it.
That is a perfect example of Ikar Emunah Zetfilah, because that means he doesn't have Emunah. That means he doesn't have Emunah. But the Rebbe Nachman's point is that if you have Emunah, then how can you not daven? Right? You're giving a perfect example of a person who's not davening because they don't have Emunah. Right? The person is going to say that I don't really believe that Hashem can help me.
No, I believe that he can help me, but he's going to decide that it's not the right time, or I'm not going to get this certain thing, and I'm just going to be disappointed. Right? Hashem doesn't say yes to everything you ask for.
Okay, but if you don't ask, then there's a much better chance that He's not going to say yes.
I'll give an example. Like in the beginning of the war, I was davening nonstop every day, saying to Him, I want this war to end. I want us to destroy Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, it's exhausting. How much can I go on keep davening for the same thing when there's no end in sight?
Mm-hmm. And do you support that decision?
I don't know. It was getting to be bad for me.
Okay.
I spend so much energy crying out to Hashem all the time, and feeling hopeless because I'm not getting an answer.
Okay. I mean, I would be. I don't know how much you were davening, and maybe it was too much, but the fact that you didn't see the absolute obliteration of Hamas that same day does not mean that your prayers weren't accepted with a yes. It could be that because of your prayers, so who knows how many lives were saved, how many times we're able to kill terrorists. I get it that we're human and there's a limit to how much we can carry on, but it doesn't mean that every single prayer didn't have an amazing effect. Meaning that
If you don't see the effect, then it just makes you feel powerless.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true that you need to feel powerless. That if you have an emunah that your prayers are being heard, so then how could they not make a difference? We daven ki ata shomea tfilat kol peh, that we know that you hear every single prayer. So that how could it not make an effect?
Let's say every time someone gets sick and passes away, and if they have a community, everyone's davening for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hashem still decides in the end to take them away.
Mm-hmm.
So meaning like.
Well,
Are you supposed to have Emunah that Hashem is listening?
we're gonna have a separate class about tefillah. Right now we're talking about Emunah, and just Emunah as it relates to tefillah. But there's no doubt that every prayer has a positive effect. There's no such thing as a prayer which is wasted. There's no such thing as a prayer that's just nice try. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the rabbi that just had his first son at 88. Like,
Okay,
to me, like no
sure.
prayer when it was crazy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily proof. Maybe one could argue that the first 87 years of his life, so they went to waste, and then the last, you never know. But I think it's Meikar Emunah that
Doesn't Hashem ever say
that
no?
Baruch Atah. Yes, but it doesn't mean that the prayer was wasted.
So what could be? What kind of effect would it have had if he asked, I want X, and Hashem says, no, you're not going to get X. It's not what's right for you.
Okay, but you'll get something else.
Because of that feeling?
Yeah. And in your case of the war, so then there's no doubt that just the mere fact that you're davening for the success of the soldiers and for the security of the Jewish people. So how do you know he said no? Maybe we're having success and security because of your prayers. You, right? That's the other thing. Who's little me, right? And, yeah.
What about the idea that somebody, like, that Sadiq thinks, wow, I have so much Emunah that I don't have to daven for anything. Hashem gives me everything I need.
That's not a tzaddik. Tzaddikim have to always daven.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even if they're satisfied with what they have?
Yeah. You should always be davening to be closer to Hashem. You should always be davening for all the other people that don't have what they need, for all the people who are suffering, for all the poor people, for all the people in toxic situations. If a person just doesn't daven, it means he doesn't care.
Isn't that bitachon, like Hashem, you have it?
No. Bitachon is to daven, that Hashem, I trust you. So show me the goods. That's it. I want you to heal all the poor people. I want you to feed all the hungry people. That's it. David Melech was the one saying that, right? He's the one that didn't stop davening his entire life. He was davening, right? Okay, so that's number one. Number one, when we say that Emunah is tefillah, we mean that if you really believe that God can do everything, so how could you not daven? It's completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous that if you believe that Hashem can do everything, how could you not daven? Okay. So number two. When we're talking about the Emunah is tefillah. So that Emunah, tefillah is the one mitzvah that it is an expression of Emunah, meaning that a person that doesn't have Emunah, a person that the relationship with God is not real, they're not living with a connection with God, so they can do almost everything in Judaism. They can really they don't have a problem eating matzah, they don't have a problem putting on tefillin, they don't even have a problem learning Torah. It's really fine. They can enjoy learning Torah. They can enjoy lighting Shabbos candles. They can enjoy for sure eating cholent. There's lots of Jewish things that they can do, that they can enjoy the cultural part of Judaism. But there's one thing that they just can't do. They cannot, for the life of them, they can't daven. It's poison. It's the most toxic thing in the world. Because that's where you can't fake it. They know that the entire essence of davening is connection, and because they're not there, because in their reality there is no connection with God, so it's the most torturous act that they could possibly have. Okay, so tefillah is the mitzvah, which is the expression of Emunah. Okay, and it's the one thing that you can't fake it. It's impossible. It's possible to daven. It's possible to really daven, and not go crazy. Like the way to do it is the way to do it is just read the words as quickly as you can and have it being the most boring part of your day, right? I was telling some of the Nevegos about this famous influencer that he was on some podcast and he was telling to the people on the podcast of Meaningful People that how like he struggles with davening because he's a philosopher and because of his understanding of the Rambam, it doesn't really make sense to him that God should listen to our prayers. So like all his friends know that whenever you need a super quickie davening, so ask so and so to be the chazan, and like I know how to do it in 3 seconds flat, and so the interviewer was like he was sharp, and he said, so how about that let's make a deal that we're going to have another interview with you in another 6 months, and until then you'll try to work on your work on your davening. So you got, this is like a person, if you don't have a real relationship with God, so then the place where it's going to show up is in your davening, okay? And that's why once a person asked the Chazon Ish about, like, he had a daughter that he was looking for a shidduch for his daughter, and asked him about a certain boy that he had an idea for a shidduch for this boy. Anyway, so the Chazon Ish says, I don't know him personally, but I can't really tell you if I recommend him. I asked, like, what should I look for? He asked, like, how should I find out if he's good? So he said, it's very simple. Watch him davening. Just watch him. Just spy on him when he's like, as he's davening. See, like, you can see all. The only thing you need to know, you'll see from the way he davens, and you can base what kind of boy he is based on the way he davens. Okay? And that because that it's the most real thing that you do. It's the place where that you really can't fake it, and really that.
You can see from appearances, because people say, "Wow, like I really davening," and it's like, "Yeah, I'm rocking back and forth, and I think I'm davening, but it's like my mind is elsewhere."
Okay, no, that's true. That I guess those are the people. I guess the Chazon Ish knew that this person could tell that, like I don't know, like me personally, like when people are like very dramatic in the way they daven, it's something I can't stand it. Like people who are like people, they do a lot of hand motions and like turning like oh my gosh, like this guy that like this one chazan that he's trying to like educate everybody and like davens like with a I don't know, I don't even want to bring myself to imitate him. It's annoying. It's really annoying that he's like everything that he's saying. It's like, hey everybody, look at me. I really know how to daven. Right. Not like you guys. The craziest part was that this guy, he came late and he was like he wanted to be the chazan because his father passed away or something. So he did the entire davening until Shemona Esrei in a minute and a half to catch up with everybody. Then when he was the chazan, then he was like, Baruch Atah Hashem, Magen Avraham, like he has all the time in the world, and like I'll teach you how to daven. And okay,
you don't think it's sincere? You think it's?
I know it's not sincere. It's like I see right through him. So I know.
Every time I think that, and then I catch myself. Wait, I don't actually know the guy.
I know. I know. No.
And I'll let them do their thing.
If you're the more real you are, the more you're sensitive to fake people. So really, we're talking about Emunah. So we're talking about Emunah. We're talking about davening. So we're talking about being real. We're talking about being real, and we're talking about that having Emunah. That when we're talking about having Emunah, what we really mean is that, and this is like really, if this is one thing that we take from the entire Pesach, so it should be this, and that is that this whole Judaism thing, it's sweet, it's cute, but is it real? That is the point of Emunah. Okay? Is it real? Is it really, really real? Is it something that this is you're living, that this is our purpose of existence, that this whole world of spirituality, is it something that, yeah, we do it, yeah, we say we believe in it, or is it this is my reality? Okay, that this is the most real reality. That the thing which is deciding whether or not you're gonna get married, whether you're gonna get this job, whatever it is. That what's really calling the shots is the real decision-making thing. Is it really how, if you're cool enough on the date, or is really what's making the shots is that you daven hard enough, and did Hashem want this to work out? Okay, what's really making the difference at the bottom, at the end of the day? So this is in everything that we do. Like when I'm eating my matzah, a week from.
Don't say it.
Yeah, it's less than a week. So a week from last night. When we're eating a matzah, are we doing this? Are we doing this because it's our custom, it's our tradition? Are we doing this because this is what's bringing me close to Hashem? Okay, and this is ultimately when we're talking about Emunah. We're talking about, is my Judaism real? And so that's why we started this series by talking about that this is really the basis of everything in Judaism, and really now we understand why. The reason why it's the basis of everything in Judaism is because this is our living Judaism in a place that this is a true thing. So B'ezrat Hashem, we should have an amazing Pesach, and we should really be able to connect with Emunah in the deepest way. And it should be every bite of the matzah should fill us with Emunah. Every speech, every word of the Maggid should fill us with Emunah. And we should come back. We should come back like after this Lala Seder, just oozing with Emunah, just coming out of our ears. B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.
Amen.